Hey everyone, I'm Nate.
And I'm Abby.
We are the RC Sailors and we are reviewing the Tower Hobbies Vista Brushless Glider. This is an almost ready to fly glider that has a wingspan of 78.5 inches. This is huge.
And this was actually our first airplane we had to build, and it's our first plane that is made out of balsa wood that we've had on our channel.
That's right. This is
lots of firsts.
Balsa with a film stretched over it, and a little bit of confusion in my unboxing. I had suggested that the wing separates, I did mean that, from the body of the plane, but it actually does not separate. This is one solid piece after you construct it together. I drive a two-door sporty car. Abby drives a two-door car, and when you lay the back seat down, once you've taken this off of the body of the plane, it does fit in a car. So don't fear, don't be limited on buying this because you don't think it'll fit in your car. It will. But it is one solid piece, it's glued together, and it was kind of fun to build. It was the first thing I've ever not just had right out of the box and throw it.
And if you go on over to our Facebook page, you can see some of the build pictures of Nate building the plane.
That's cool. Just to point this out, and I'm going to set the wing down and move on. The decals that are on here, I think they look great. It's a Tower Hobbies Vista, so I like showing the fact that it is a Tower Hobbies plane. I like it very much. But the decals do come separate, so you don't have to add these if you don't want, or you want to customize it to something that's a bit more up your alley. Let's just set this down and move on to the plane itself. This is almost ready to fly. And it comes with everything that you need except for a battery, the charger for the battery, your transmitter, your receiver,
your servos,
or the two servos. That's it. Now, you do need some 30-minute epoxy, a paintbrush to apply the epoxy,
various tools.
Various tools like a screwdriver, a power drill to drill out the servo horns for some servos, and pliers. You need pliers and wire cutters. So there are some tools that you need, but right out of the box, you basically get the plane, the motor, which is a 1000 kilovolt brushless outrunner motor. It is powerful. It is quiet and sounds good while flying.
Sounds like a spaceship.
It's a good sound. It's not whiny. It's a good sounding motor. And a 30 amp ESC comes with the plane. It's mounted in there and you don't have to assemble any of it. It just comes with a Dean's connector, which is my favorite. I'm really happy about the Dean's. So after all the assembly and everything, it took me about 3 hours or so to put it together, which this is the first plane I've ever had to put anything together on, which, I guess makes it sound like I'm pretty new into the hobby, but I haven't done any assembly.
We like ready to run.
I like ready to run, ready to fly. It's easier.
This wasn't too bad.
Not too bad at all. It just came with everything that you needed to assemble the plane itself, motor and ESC. It's $115 for all of the stuff that comes with the Vista ARF, and if you need two servos, a battery, and a receiver for a transmitter that hopefully you already have, if you need those four things, you'll be looking at about $183. Now we bought all Tower Hobbies things to go along with this.
Has to match.
Has to match. So you may be able to bargain shop and find some of those things a bit cheaper, but for us, to get this thing in the air was $183 for its own battery. A lot of guys out there, you've already got receivers, you've already got batteries, you already got your transmitter, and you already got your charger, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. Now that $183 is not including a transmitter or a charger for your batteries, but everything for the plane itself is $183 to get it in the air. Flew with a Tactic transmitter and I used a Tactic receiver. This is the TTX 650, Tactic TTX 650, and I flew with a 6-channel receiver, but you only need 3 channels. This has elevator, rudder, and throttle. It's a very basic plane, but it had a lot of throw control. Now, you have high rates and low rate settings that you can put those on, and I flew on high rates just because I wanted to have more control over the plane the first time I flew it, and I had more than enough control. This flew extremely well, and I found myself probably only giving about 20 to 30% throws on on my joystick
it
here.
was very sensitive.
Extremely sensitive.
When I flew it, I kind of freaked out a little bit because I wasn't used to it, and I was like, take it!
That's right. I had the throws set too sensitive for Abby. She's not used to. Generally, she'll push all the way over when she's flying a plane. So
makes sense.
I need to set those back down. It's just really sensitive the way I had it set, but it flew really, really well. Let's get to the point of the power because I mean, as far as construction of the plane goes, it's much more durable than I thought it would be. I'm used to flying foamies, and this is kind of a bit of a throwback with balsa and the film stretched over it. In fact, it's even the wing is held onto the body with good old-fashioned rubber bands, and these do wear out after a bit of time, so I highly encourage you to replace these regularly, not every flight, but maybe at least once a year. Replace your rubber bands with new rubber bands. You don't want those snapping off mid-flight. The battery hatch here swings aside really easily, and you've got your battery mounted up front for balance, and the ESC's under that, and the motor is already mounted in the plane when you get it. The flight performance of it was really a lot more powerful than I was expecting. I know Tower Hobbies said that this can basically climb vertically, but it's a glider, and you don't really expect that out of most gliders. But it does. It absolutely does, and probably at about 75–80% throttle. You don't even need to go full throttle to get that vertical climb out of this plane. It was impressive. The first takeoff, I had my elevator trimmed up a hair because on a first takeoff, I would honestly rather have a bit up than down, just not knowing how, especially without landing gear. So I trimmed it up just a little. I gave it about 50–60% throttle, and man, it just climbed straight up.
And then it started going back.
I thought I was going to do a loop.
And I lost it off the camera because I was freaking out.
I thought I was going to do a loop, but I trimmed it back down, I nosed it down, I gave it more throttle and nosed down, and I leveled out and I trimmed it up for about 2 minutes, and then it flew beautifully. I could go hands off the controls and just glide through the air, and that's exactly what this was made to do.
It's a very peaceful plane to watch.
Okay, so it's got power, but not only does it have power, it's got, what is the word I'm looking for, just...
That je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. It glides elegantly, especially in just a small headwind of like maybe 2 to 3 miles an hour. It's an elegant flyer, it glides extremely well, and I got about 35 to 40 minutes. I didn't even time it exactly because it was such a long flight. I got about a 35–40 minute flight on an 1800 milliamp battery. Now I'm used to flying quicker little planes that are
10-minute flight time.
Oh no, not 10 minutes, about 6 or 7 minute flight time on a 2200 milliamp battery. And so to go from that to a 35–40 minute flight was perfect. Normally I bring 6 or 7 batteries with me and I fly for about 45 minutes and then I pack up and I go home. Today I flew on 1 battery. How cool is that?
It's very cool.
It's really awesome. If I'm going to say something negative about it, it would just be what it isn't instead of what it is.
Right.
I mean, what else? Oh, it doesn't have landing gear. Well, that's because it's not supposed to have landing gear. Oh, it's not a stunt plane. It can't do barrel rolls. Well, that's because it's not supposed to do barrel rolls. It's a glider.
It's supposed to have long flight times.
So, for what it
forever.
is, they have nailed it. This will absolutely go on my RC wall, and it's going to stay there for a long time. It's beautiful, and anytime I want to take a friend up to the airfield and have them fly something, I feel very comfortable with them flying this because it's just... If I put the throws down, you know, turn the throws down a little bit. Something else I wanted to mention. I mentioned this in our unboxing, which by the way, you should check out that unboxing. I'll have it linked here for you, but and in the description box if you'd like to see a bit more close shots of the plane rather than in flight. Not only does this tuck back if you turn on the motor brake while flying. I did not have the motor brake on, so it kept spinning smoothly in the sky. Motor brake means if you don't have power to it, it won't let this spin, and then the resistance to the wind will push this back. With the throttle brake off, it'll still spin freely gliding through the air. When you turn the throttle brake on, it won't spin, and then the wind will tuck these back and you'll glide a bit smoother. But I didn't want my throttle brake on. I probably should have, but I did not. The other important aspect of this prop that tucks back is the simple fact that this doesn't have landing gear. So when you land, it's very important that this does not snap on the ground. If that was not a folding prop, it would snap on the ground on your landings. And this is too big to catch in flight. So, you know, it tucks back on your landings, saving your prop and your entire plane. So it's another important aspect of that folding propeller. Very cool, very strong motor, 30 amp ESC, which is more than enough for this motor and battery combo. And as long as you pick up a couple cheap servos, mine were 10 bucks each, a receiver, which is about 20 bucks, and a battery to fly this, you're golden. Allow maybe 3 hours or so to build this. I'm sure people can do it much faster than I did, but it was my first time and that took about 3 hours to build. If you don't count the waiting time on the glue. And this is a great plane. I would buy this again. I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I love it now that it's assembled, and it's so simple. I just rubber band that wing on, charge one battery, and I can fly for 40 minutes or so. That is awesome. That is just awesome. At the end of our reviews, I like to recommend who this would be for, in my opinion. And I think that this glider would be best suited for probably somebody that already has a transmitter, like a universal transmitter. Now, could this be somebody's first plane? Yes, because it's simple. It's got an elevator and rudder. It could be, if you were willing to take the time to learn a few things. But I really think this should be somebody's second or third or later plane. Even though it's simple, I believe it should not be your very first plane.
At least not mine.
Right.
How many planes do I have?
Having said that, I think that anyone old enough to fly or to want to learn to fly could fly this. With an instructor, it could be your first plane. Or with a buddy box, you know, that could be a first plane as well. The idea of it being balsa was scary at first, but it flies so well that landings were just like landing right on glass. I mean, it was, you know, beautiful. Very easy to fly, enjoyable to fly, and as I said, I would buy it over and over and over again. Now, can you go out there and buy a glider with a 78.5 inch wingspan for $10 cheaper than this? Yeah, you can. But you're going to probably get it overseas, and you're not going to get the customer service that you get with Tower Hobbies. And that's the one reason we really like Tower Hobbies. They have the best RC customer service that we've seen in the market, and I'd highly recommend them. This is one of their products that they probably will support for quite a while, and I'd love to see a lot of people out there buying this and taking pictures of it. And if you get one, please take a picture. Tell us how your flying experience was, and stop by our Facebook page and share that with us.
Or Instagram or Twitter or whatever.
Right. Let us know. I love knowing when people watch our videos because they are thinking about buying one, and then maybe they pull the trigger because they've watched our video and they feel a little bit better about it, or maybe the other way, they don't want to. Let us know what your experience is like with the Vista glider, because we love hearing those stories, and it's just part of what makes this hobby as good as it is. Mm-hmm. We love sharing. We are giving away an RC vehicle at the end of July of 2015. That means you still have a lot of time to enter this contest.
Month and a half.
Stop by our Facebook page and post the picture of your Vista glider, and that will enter you. We'll be giving away a really cool RC. It's a surprise as of right now, but we'll do that through our Facebook channel. We may announce the winner on YouTube as well. Lots of RC stuff going on. We've got reviews, unboxings, new RCs, giving away RCs.
A sleepy dog.
Sleepy dog. If you're into RCs, please subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you and just talk RC all day long. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.